This right here is Kyrie Irving for the Dallas Mavericks. And when you see him move with fluidity with the handle, you really see how elegant he is.
Kyrie.
And then when the time calls for it and he needs to get deep into that bag, this is when you get shots like this.
That's what he is. And gets the mid-range shot over ease.
Listen, Kyrie Irving hasn't played a single game with Cooper Flagg, not one possession yet, as he tore his ACL in the March of 2025, missed the entire 25-26 season, and watched from the sideline as a 19-year-old rookie showcased his talents while going on to win Rookie of the Year. Now that Kyrie is fully recovered, for the first time ever, these two are actually going to share the floor, and in today's video, we're breaking down exactly what Kyrie still brings to the game at this stage in his career, and why his return might be the single biggest thing that unlocks Cooper Flagg's game even further. I want you to think about what it means for a franchise to lose its best playmaker for an entire season. I mean, not only did they lose Kyrie, as they also had given up Luka Doncic in a trade that didn't really yield great results with Anthony Davis, and while all of that happening, they ended up getting a generational rookie ready to go once he walked in. Flagg had a lot on his shoulders last season as a rook, and let's be honest, he did a solid job at creating his own shot, initiating the offense, and even being a plus on the defensive end. When you think of Flagg, you automatically see a glue guy type of player who has the potential to be a superstar in this league, and now with Kyrie next to him, this can change everything as he doesn't have to carry all the responsibility himself. Now look, I understand that some people are skeptical over Kyrie and if he'll come back the same after the injury, and hey, that's understandable, but before Kyrie went down, he was averaging 24 points on 47% shooting from the field and 40% from deep. Now you may ask, why is that even important, as the injury could hinder Kyrie from even returning back to this production? Well, when you analyze how players get to their spots on the floor and that Kyrie took a full season off to get healthy before returning, those doubts start to kinda leave your mind. Irving is one of those guys who doesn't need a whole lot to get his shot off, so when defenders pressure him tight, Kyrie can use his body to move Neymar back while stepping through, and when Neymar tries to pressure back up, all Kyrie has to do is use that jab step to create space, and this is just money. When you can create space without dribbling, this makes it frustrating for defenders as they assume you have nowhere to go, but if you watch closely, once Payton puts his hand down, that's when Irving rises up, and that's why it's called hand down, say it with me, man down. It doesn't matter where he catches or who's on him, Irving doesn't always need a dribble to get a bucket over the defender. But don't think for one second that he's gonna come back and not cook people off the dribble as well. After you take a year off and rehab correctly, you learn to use your body in a completely different way, which is why I'm high on Kyrie still being an efficient bucket getter. From every which way on the floor, we would see Irving creating for himself when it came to getting to his shots, and it isn't only in the mid-range. On the most simple level like we just showcased, Kai can use a jab step to get his defender all out of place, and in these situations, you could try and attack downhill since you have your defender beat. But with LeBron right here in the gap, and knowing that Reeves will try and recover back hard, that's when the step back comes in handy to create that separation, and this right here is straight cash. I know it may seem boring, but we have to highlight the ways that Irving can score with minimal dribbles, as this is why his game will still translate even after injury. And if he is to come back with that same pep in his step as we've seen before, man oh man, everybody better get ready. Because plays like this will literally get people out of their seat.
Shot clock, tough possession, but Kyrie Irving is the antidote.
And when defenses think they finally stopped Irving from cooking them, well, sorry to tell you, but this was just a fairy tale.
Fires it up.
Yeah, Kyrie isn't someone that you can take lightly when it comes to creation on the floor. One second you're funneling him right into the help and it seems like this will stop his action, but that's when that spin move comes out to put you in a blender. Other times when defenders try to mitigate his attack by playing physical, Irving isn't bothered whatsoever, and he'll actually play that game with them by getting lower than them to push them back, and if that wasn't enough, he'll knock you back one more time to then bury it in over you. The physicality of Kyrie is definitely something that's slept on, as most people get mesmerized by all the glitz and glamour he plays with, but this is why we're covering something different. In basketball, there are many different ways to put the ball in the basket, and only the elite of the elite can do so in many different styles. If Irving needs to get in that weight room with guys who are bigger than him, then so be it. He'll take it right at them with confidence to then move them back to proceed to bank it in. And say he is to attract a double while he's en route, Kyrie could look to send it back up top to restart the play, but honestly, that's not even in mind. As he knows, all he has to do is eliminate one guy, which happens to be Maxey with the bump, and the rest, well, is just history. While being physical is a skill set that every guard needs to have, being able to get your shot off quick and in tight situations is another key skill that will frustrate the defense every time they step on the floor. I mean, let's be honest, when Kyrie catches the ball in the corner here, the contest is almost touching the ball as we can see. Most players around the league will put the ball on the deck to attack right or look to swing it back to Klay Thompson, who made his way to the outside. And if you ask me, this isn't a good shot. But when talking about Irving, who can just get in the zone at any time he wants to, there's not really much you can tell him when he's feeling it. Things like that can just leave you confused as a defender, because on one hand, you want to stay glued to Kyrie all you can, so you sell out hard trying to stop him. But all it takes is one move to completely break you off, and if your big is in drop coverage, not even thinking about stepping up, you might as well kiss this one goodbye. See what I mean? Nothing we covered with his shooting was him using tons of speed, crazy herky-jerky moves, or things that we would see much younger guys do. And trust me, when we go to his driving, you can see the same as well. But I will be honest, this part of his game is what I feel would take the biggest hit opposed to his shooting, as we all know that that's a skill that never really leaves. As with driving, you do tend to use more of your athletic nature and take more hits when getting to the rack. When analyzing Kyrie, he's always been one of, if not the greatest finishers we've ever seen in the NBA. So although he had a lot of crazy moves to get to the rim and finishes that would make us open our eyes wide, he once again doesn't have to depend on that, and instead can beat the defense with pure class and elegance. This is where I see Cooper Flagg being able to benefit the most off Irving's game. And it's not that Kyrie is this elite level facilitator or anything like that. But as we've seen in some playoffs a couple years ago, if Kyrie has to turn on that passing switch, he definitely can. And it gets elevated with his ability to get downhill. For example, when Kyrie is attacking from one direction and the defense shifts over to stop him, Klay Thompson would be a great kickout, but Pods is right there ready for the pass. So that's why having a guy like Cooper Flagg is majorly important, because if he sees a gap within the defense, he doesn't just sit there. He'll cut right into the open space to get a bucket, and when shifting back to Kyrie, if he doesn't have a guy cutting through, well, he can go ahead and score himself. Every time you see Irving operating, he makes it look easy when getting downhill, and I mean, that's because for him, it really is. Everything is about angles when it comes to basketball. Getting stopped on the attack here is one thing, but then with the patience to use that pivot, Kyrie doesn't immediately throw it to Lively through the middle right here, because one, it could get picked off, and if he doesn't have the perfect bounce on it, then Lively could bobble it or end up catching it low, which gives the defense a chance to recover. So by turning his body away from the defense slightly, this now gives him the angle to go around the defenders, and now the bounce is sharp and on the money. I don't know if you agree with me, but I love pairing a guy who can make the defense crumble at any moment he wants with a guy who can spot angles in the defense to exploit. This gives the team two different options of breaking the opposing team when it comes to getting inside, and you can't stop one guy without leaving the other one open. Such as if Coop is to get downhill, he not only can throw passes to bigs like this,
Flagg spinning up top, Lively.
But then if he catches the ball on the roll and has the defense collapsing, he can zip it to the opposite corner for the tray ball connection. This here works perfectly with Irving, as he had to play next to Luka Doncic, who is known to dribble the ball most of the time to then find guys on the wing, and with Kyrie's exceptional shooting, spotting up and being ready to knock it down certainly isn't a problem. The connection between these two will be huge, as they don't really step on each other's toes as far as play styles, and with Kyrie being older, he can see things on the court Cooper can't, and with Flagg being younger and having more size, he can take advantage of certain things on the floor that Kyrie can't just do as well as he once could. This brings some of the pressure off both players' shoulders and allows them to play slightly more free, but nonetheless, it will be a hard season with much excitement in store. You tell me, do you think Flagg and Kyrie can do special things in Dallas as a duo, or do you think this will be a subpar fitting? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe, as it helps me get in the algorithm and push these videos out. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.